here at the Global Business Transformation Manager Master Certification 2014. And with me right now is Dr. Michael von Kutzschenbach, who is working as a researcher at the Applied University of Northwestern Switzerland. And he's the team lead for social media communication, journal, and training at BTA. Michael, welcome.
Thanks, Rob. I'm happy to be here.
The Business Transformation Academy, the BTA, what's it all about? Why was it established and when?
I think the BTA was established around 2009 because the situation has developed, and also for service provider in the IT like SAP, they realized that it is not enough to be only expert or have an expert in IT knowledge. They saw that they're missing the link or to bridge the IT side with the business side. And by looking who is good on that, who can help, they realized that there was not research available, or there was no focused approach towards how to bridge IT with business. And that was one of the reasons that they said, let us launch BTA, the Business Transformation Academy, which is a platform where SAP experts or subject matter experts, together with experts from SAP clients, like business transformation managers or people who are in charge of complex change initiatives, jointly together with academics, so we had 3 groups then, try to gather knowledge and disseminate this knowledge on the topic of business transformation and innovation management. So let's say this platform consists now on thinkers, doers and facilitators. And on the academic side, they are mostly business schools like the University of Applied Science in Northern Western Switzerland, where I'm working. We are collaborating there with IS St. Gallen, QUT in Australia, Pennsylvania in America. And so we are concerned to gather knowledge and also to generate knowledge around this topic of business transformation management. And the purpose of doing that is to help to strengthen the capabilities of people who are either engaged in business transformation initiatives or organizations who want to do or who need to do a business transformation to be more successful in doing it. Research shows that only 30 to 40% of business transformations are successful. Having in mind that there are a lot of resources involved, there's a great need to improving the approach for that.
And how has the BTA developed over the last couple of years, Michael?
So it started somewhere around 2009 with this network, or Thought Leadership Network. They wrote case studies, or they researched case studies, discussed what are the lessons learned, what is needed to extend. And by that, the BTA developed its own approach, the Business Transformation Management methodology, BTM square called, and also we came up with a journal. This journal is issued 3 to 4 times in a year. Mostly we have 3 issues and then a special issue like on China or now on innovation. And in this journal we try to capture the newest knowledge or the current state of knowledge on business transformation. So what's happening now when digital innovation or drivers for business transformation starts? How is that impacting organization? What can be done? What has been done good? What might be failure? What can we learn out of that? How can we improve? And in this journal, I'm not really quite sure which issue we now are in. I think it's the 10th issue we have now. The next issue will be published at the end of July. And in the beginning we thought it will be fine if we only have an online version, because we thought the world is getting digital, so that should be okay. But there was such high demand, and so we have also now some printed exemplars where we then use for engagement or to say, hey, this is something we do, and interesting to see how people realize what exists they didn't know about. That's not only on SAP and SAP client side, that's also on other people who hasn't been aware of that there is something like that existing. Other approaches. At the BTA, we have different areas of activity. So one area is our research. We try to publish articles, case studies, white papers. Then we have a topic of journal, the communication part we have. We are into social media communication, and as well we have people who work on training development as well as coordinating them.
So Michael, you've told us about the 360 journal, and tell us a little bit more about BTM Square, the Business Transformation Management methodology.
The BTM Square was developed because we realized that there was no approach at the moment which, from a holistic perspective, tried to cover this topic. So there were lots of publications focusing on it from a strategic perspective or from a more project management oriented point of view, or from an IT view, but the difficulty was that they didn't they haven't been interconnected, or they didn't take into account that there exist maybe different perspectives on this topic. And so we developed a framework which is integrating 9 disciplines. There's overall discipline called management, meta management. Then we have 2 blocks. So the one block is the direction disciplines, and the other is the enablement disciplines. And the meta management discipline should orchestra these involved disciplines, which on the direction discipline side should help to put the transformation into the right direction. For that purpose, there are the strategy management, benefit management, and risk management discipline. And on the enablement disciplines, you find disciplines like process management, program and project management, skill competence management, which enable the organization probably to do the transformation. And the benefit out of this business transformation management methodology is that it helps you gives you a framework within you easily can recognize, okay, here are strong points, here is we do not need to spend effort on, that's running well, and there are issues we are not covering good enough, and we were looking for best practices. So we came up with a heat map where we used green, yellow, red to evaluate how business transformation initiatives are running, and we also have case studies on that. So there was, thanks to Axel Uhl and Mr. Ward, 13 cases analyzed, and from that we somehow could get an understanding about not especially best practice but best pattern. And this is what I think is where BTM Square helps you to get a picture on the situation, and of course you can also easily use it to evaluate your current status of the transformation you are in charge of.
And so following on from the BTM methodology, Michael, there are 2 certifications now which the BTA is training people in and then issuing certifications. Can you tell us about the first certification that you recommend people aim towards?
Yeah, we have different training activities, and one is related to the BTM Square approach, where that is a 2 to 5 day training, depending a little bit on the customer needs. So we run that internally at SAP, but also for SAP clients. And the objective is to get a picture about the methodology. So we try to first of all say why you need business transformation or where it can help you, and then what it is. And then we also have a case where you then see how to use the business transformation management methodology or where that can help you. And this training is mostly onto the methodology part, depending on the setup. So we try to have a very interactive setup. You have material available you can do a pre-study on, and then either 2 to 5 days you get a more theoretical conceptual input, then as casework, and then is reflection on how can we connect the theoretical conceptual input with the case work, maybe also own experience that you can link this content to your own daily business experience. And the training itself ends with an online exam, so you also get a certificate from BTA, which is SAP accredited.
And then the program, which we're just halfway through at the moment, Michael, the Global Business Transformation Manager. Can you tell us a little bit about that certification and that program?
As I say, this BTPM training is more focusing on the methodology itself. And the methodology itself has this meta management discipline. That is what I would say is more covered than in this 10-day training, the GBTM, the Global Business Transformation Manager Master Certification, which, according to my understanding, is one of the first or maybe training on business transformation. And I see the most important relevance of this training is due to the fact that even you are trained in the methodology and maybe you has your expert knowledge on the IT bits, technical details, you have to be aware of that you, due to the complexity of the change initiatives, are more and more in touch with people, and it does not really help to exclude these people longer. And that is where what the GBTM Master Certification is about. So we try to understand what does it mean if you are in a complex, dynamic environment like a bigger transformation program. How can you get the feeling in which context you are moving? How can you improve your capability on the intersection of people? What are different approaches which might be useful if there is not a clear picture, or there are different challenges which may compete with each other, or you are in a dilemma situation, you have to collaborate with different stakeholders, different egos, and maybe also need, or is even not clear what about that program is at all, it's only a political program. Then I think being in our training could add value to you, because we try to help you first of all, reflect yourself, getting some instruments which may help you better move in this complex environment, as well getting a feeling for what kind of context I'm in. And the training itself is about 10 days. It's open for SAP clients as well as partners. And it's structured that we, in the first week, have more conceptual parts, different speakers on solution-focused coaching, on strategic leadership, on lessons learned from transformation management, or leadership itself, and how to motivate myself, my group. And the second part is more practical oriented. We have 2 days to get into the design thinking approach, where we work through our own design thinking challenge, and then we have a day where we really practice these critical incidents, where the conceptual knowledge from the week before help the participants being in a dilemma situation or in a very conflicting situation. How should I behave to ensure that I'm result-oriented, but at the same time motivate the people which in the situation or in the environments where there is sometimes no clear hierarchical structure, because it's a virtual team, because it's different partners, organizations have to collaborate on a transformation topic, not so easy. And the training itself ends then with an assessment center where the participants get checked on how good can they act as business transformation advisors, meaning in that way building strong relationships, are able to handle political issues, and get a team towards not solving problems, but to be successful. There's an assessment center with experienced assessors from SAP as well from Academica. As we are running now the training for the 7th time, our assessor pool has grown and they are really experienced in evaluating the participants towards could they behave as trusted advisors. And that results then in a very beneficial feedback for the participants on the last day. So each participant will get feedback from his assessor on how did he do, how he was perceived from the assessor of this assessment center, which is very valuable for the participant itself, because in our competitive environments, it's rare to get a 360-degree feedback, which is constructive and solution-focused. So I think in the end, what's in for you in this GBTM training is that you have the chance to develop your self-competence or your strengths and your personal mastery. You learn how to manage work in political sensible environments, and as well get a feedback on where you are, who you are, or other said, how you are perceived from experienced people. Yeah, and so far we have the first week behind us, and I think it's a great week, great participants, and also great speakers and trainers.
And Michael, so far, how many BTPM or GBTM certified professionals do we have in the world right now?
We have on the BTPM training, the methodology training, I would say around close to 400 people trained so far. We started with this kind of training in 2012, 2011 was more piloting it, and we have already trained also people from LG or Samsung, and there are several certificated people within SAP. The GBTM training, as I said already, the 7th edition was piloted in 2010. And as we have approximately 30 participants who run through one training session, we are now around 200 certified trusted advisors or global business transformation management persons. And what's for me so interesting is that people are from Japan, South America, North America, Russia, all joining these kind of sessions. So we have a really very experienced, mature group always, which great variety of culture and experience in how to do that, which is then incredible valuable for the participants because they can build up their network, adding pieces to their worldview and fill their toolbox even over what the trainers are offering.
And Michael, a good contingent from SAP here, but you mentioned LG, Samsung. You have participants from many large global organizations attending.
Yeah, so this LG and Samsung, we provided special methodology trainings for them. So it was then LG internal or Samsung internal only. In the GBTM training, it's a little bit more open. So there we have people from, in this training, we have people from Daimler, we have people from Mackey, we have people from T-Connectivity, the more American organization. Last year I had people from the IT supplier for Mitsubishi, people from Vodafone. So it's really, it's not an only SAP thing. Of course, SAP is driving it and it's very interested into having this business transformation academy, this thought leadership network, but also the clients and also partners. We have also partners in the training who work with SAP are very interested because it provides the methodology training more like shared language. So the benefit of the BTM Square is then that when you say I'm talking about X, Y, Z, your counterpart can get the picture much easier because he knows your framework, your approach better. And also for within the GBTM training, the people are able to already during this kind of training establish a relationship which then lasts in their daily business situation again. So if I have the SAP consultant in the training and his counterpart from the SAP client side, it enables them during these 2 weeks of very intense group work and interaction already to establish a relationship which they can then build on later when they are faced by the challenges of their business transformation project.
And in the future, Michael, what's happening? I understand, I've heard something about the digital capability framework within the BTA. Can you tell us something?
Yeah, of course. BTM Square is not the last idea or framework we are working or have worked on. Also, now we are doing further research and there are different topics. And we will offer one training that is the Business Innovation Professional training, which is comparable to the BTPM training. It will be a methodology training. And there we try to help the people to better understand what is needed for digital enterprise. So we include the digital capability framework there. We will include cloud transformation as well as business model innovation and ideation. So we know that people outside are forced by the challenge. On the one side, there are great ideas. On the other side, there are established structures. So if we would like to move on, we would like to have new services, we may need new business model innovations or ideas around that, which then help to integrate these new digital innovations and make better business at the end of it. So this is the there will be a 2 to 3 day training on a professional level, and we will have a 10-day training as we have this master training for the business transformation, which then exactly covers, okay, on the one side is the idea, on the other side is the established company. A little bit on how will I get good ideas, creativity, but much more, the stronger focus will be then on how to utilize these great ideas, how to get them into business or make business out of it, which I would say is then an innovation. The other thing I would more say is a great idea, and we have lots of great ideas, but to keep them through the channel towards we make money with it, that is then covered by, again, a 10-day training, which is from the setup similar, or which we are planning it similar to what we are running now here. And again, there we are working with excellent speakers, and we will also have people from the practitioner sides, so that they can share and their hands-on experience by saying, okay, I did it, so that will have a mixture of interactive sessions together with more conceptual thinking people and hands-on lesson learned sessions or discussions at the end of the day.
Michael, speaking for myself, I'm halfway through this global business transformation training with the Business Transformation Academy right now, and I can say with all honesty that the BTA is definitely over-delivered, and I'm thoroughly pleased to have made the decision to come along here. So thank you, and thank you to the rest of the BTA for giving this wonderful training.
Thank you, Rob, for being here and having this podcast together.
You have just listened to another business transformation podcast from CXO Transform. To discover more on how companies can achieve successful digitally enabled business transformation, visit www.cxotransform.com for free resources.